Akon, the Senegalese-American singer, songwriter, and businessman, launched an initiative called Akon Lighting Africa. This initiative aimed to address the issues of electricity access in many parts of Africa. Akon and Tionyang had first-hand experience with the difficulties of living without grid electricity, including the limitations on their educational and professional options, as well as the challenges with quality of life and health. Akon Lighting Africa was founded in 2014 by Akon, along with Tionyang and Samba Batsili, the CEO of Solectra, with the aid of a $1 billion credit line from Chinese solar product manufacturers. Initiative's main goal was to provide sustainable solar energy solutions to rural and underserved communities across Africa. They focused on installing solar-powered street lights, home solar systems, and solar-powered microgrids to power schools and other essential community facilities. The group also announced the launch of Solectra Solar Academy in Africa with the intention of educating young Africans about solar energy and the installation and maintenance of high-end solar equipment. It's interesting to note that they initially intended to use fossil fuels and gasoline to power the continent, but they soon recognized how solar energy was more affordable and cost-effective. Akon's project was a huge success, giving 14 African countries, including Guinea, Senegal, and Sierra Leone, sustainable solar-powered electricity in just 1 year through street lamps and solar panels. The benefits of providing solar power to such a large portion of Africa's population include extending the hours that outdoor vendors can operate, enabling kids to study longer without the use of hazardous kerosene lamps, and lowering crime rates as a result of previously dark African villages now being illuminated by solar power. By 2016, Akon Lighting Africa had installed 100,000 solar-powered street lamps and 1,200 solar microgrids in 480 African towns across 16 countries and created 5,500 employments. Today, Akon Lighting Africa is in charge of supplying solar-powered electricity to 25 different nations and around 28.8 million people. This feat hasn't been without challenges. Akon noted how negotiating with African governments, which are less established, powerful, or independent than those on other continents, was his first obstacle with the initiative. He claimed that it was challenging to get things done at first because African governments were unable to control any aspect of the project because they are reliant on more powerful nations or institutions that hold the real power rather than being in charge of their own countries and resources. Akon continued by stating that obtaining funding for the project from reputable financial institutions was the second obstacle because these organizations have historically viewed Africa as risky and did not want to be involved in potentially risky, large-scale initiatives. The final issue, according to Akon, was to avoid coming out as overly kind to the nations of Africa and their citizens. He did this because he wanted to keep Africans inspired to work hard and come up with their own answers rather than depending just on effortless philanthropic handouts. Akon Lighting Africa was founded as a for-profit business rather than a non-profit organization. The Solectra Solar Academy was established so that Africans could learn about solar power and become self-sufficient so they wouldn't need donations from the outside world. One might ask, what's the future? Akon Lighting Africa's long-term objective is to deliver solar electricity to 250 million people on the African continent by 2030. Akon also recently garnered media attention with his latest endeavor for Africa, Akon City. Building a future city in Senegal called Akon City, which will run entirely on solar energy and have its own cryptocurrency called Acoin is a 10-year project. Additionally, Akon City will contain a 5,000-bed billion-dollar hospital, hotels, schools, houses, and an airport.